I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Friday, April the 15th, tax day. Don't forget, guys. Brought to you in part by Noromycin by Norbrook. Noromycin 300 LA is your go-to antibiotic for a broad spectrum of cattle diseases and infections. It's your must-have product, and you got to have it in your vet shack, your pickup, and your saddlebag, readily available without a script for another year and a little bit more. Don't forget, next summer they're going to be changing the rules on that. You're going to have a script for everything, including just basic penicillin. But for all your products you're interested in through Norbrook, go to norbrook.com. High cattle, and I'm not necessarily talking about the prices, although I'm going to give you some high cattle prices here at the end of the report like I always do. But I'm talking about the study that K-State did on feeding cattle industrial hemp for 14 days. They said that the cattle calmed down, they showed reduced stress, and they wanted to lay down all the time. That is not shocking, really. They didn't want to go to work. They didn't want to do their daily routine, and for the most part, we're wondering if we could feed them burritos or Cheetos after the 14-day trial is up and see what the gain is on that. But it's interesting, some of the studies that they do, and I don't doubt that industrial hemp couldn't be of use in some kind of a ration somewhere, and supposedly it's pretty easy to grow. But the blizzard continues in North Dakota, guys, and out that way. Our friends in Rapid City area that have been so dry out there in the northwestern parts of South Dakota, we thought they were going to get dumped on, and actually they were wanting to get dumped on. They didn't get hardly anything, and really needing some moisture in that area, as is your southern plains. We have had some moisture in your big grazing areas like the Flint Hills and places like that, and they turned out today pretty much throughout that whole group right there, that big grazing area, because they found out that double stocking those pastures for shorter terms is a better way to manage that ground, and you can get similar gains on it. So they'll be running those cattle out there for about 90 days is all, starting April the 15th. We are getting excited about this Cattle Price Discovery and Transparency Act, and preparing for the Senate Ag Committee hearing that's going to be happening on the 26th, and then they're going to be having a House hearing on the 27th. They've invited the CEOs of your big four packers to come in and testify on that. That could be very interesting, but we're not hearing much. We figured that your North American Meat Institute and your National Corporate Beef Association would be working behind the scenes trying to get this deal killed, but I don't think they're having a whole lot of luck in it. And in fact, one of the biggest trade groups that has been opposed to the Cattle Price Discovery and Transparency Act has had a special meeting. That's the Farm Bureau, that we were very disappointed in, that they decided that they were not in favor of it, and they've decided they're just going to sit this one out. They're going to climb up on the fence and straddle it. They're not going to oppose it, and they're not going to be in favor of it, the national board anyway, and they're going to let their state boards do what they think is right and what they see fit. So they're basically going to be neutral. That's what I've been asking you guys from the get-go, is to not fight this deal, and we can get it pushed through. And I think we've got a very good chance to get that done. We're going to be well prepared for these Congress hearings, and just hope for the best. But I really feel, guys, and I've told you many times, that it can save this industry as we know it and preserve our negotiated trade, which is so important to not only your fat cattle sales, but especially your feeder cattle and your calf sales down the line. Let's talk about your board later in the week. On Thursday, April live cattle futures up a nickel at 140.67. June was down 45. ending at 136.42. Your back months were unchanged to down 32, but we've had a pretty good week on your board as far as your cattle futures have gone, and we really can't complain because grains have been up pretty much every day, and we're not going to have a board on Good Friday, so we're home free now. So you guys can relax on Friday. They're not going to completely dump on you. They're not going to pull the rug out from under you, and you can enjoy your Easter weekend. April feeder cattle down 35 cents at 158.20. May was down just 17 cents at 161.77. Your back months, not a lot of movement there, but down just a smidge there, down 7 cents to down 37, but that's not too bad at all. And grains were up again, or corn and beans were anyway. Corn was up 6 3/4 cents, ending the regular session on Thursday at $7.90 1/4. Gosh, that's getting scary close to $8, and it's kind of settling right in there. And now we've seen the White House administration say that they're going to loosen the restrictions on ethanol. That's going to cause even more demand for corn and make it even harder for cattle feeders to afford to feed corn to their cattle. Beans up 6 1/4 cents at 16.82 1/4. Kansas City hard red winter wheat down after gaining big all through the week, but down 20 cents, ending regular trading on Thursday at 11.54. Your fat cattle trade finally calmed down. We didn't see a whole lot of trade on Thursday after we saw very active trading on Tuesday and Wednesday. We've got a pretty good movement for this day and time negotiated in your 5-area feeding region. Not sure what we'll see, if anything, on Friday. Will be in Good Friday, probably not much, but we didn't see a whole lot of confirmed sales on Thursday either. Iowa had about 1,600 head and 27,400 head for the week. Live sales 142 to 144, and that's way at the top of your range that we've seen this week, and we've seen gains, especially in the northern plains this week. Southern plains has been just straight up a full dollar higher than last week. Dress sales have been higher this week, 226 to 228 in Iowa on confirmed sales on Thursday. Nebraska, only a couple of loads of cattle on Thursday, a little over 30,000 for the week. And the only negotiated price that we saw confirmed on Thursday was 226 dressed. Kansas did not have any confirmed sales on Thursday, just short of 20,000 head for the week. Texas, just a couple of loads there, 7,600 head for the week. And they did have one deal there. It had to have been off for some reason or another, but it was off the market at 137.5, and then another one at where all the other cattle sold at was at 139. But basically all your cattle in the southern plains this week brought 139. Box beef cutout values were mixed again, and it seems like it's starting to stall out a little bit. It's been kind of going up gangbusters here for the last few weeks, and we expected it to keep doing that up into May, and it may still, but it's kind of settled down this week. But choice cuts on Thursday afternoon were down 50 cents at 271.86. Selects were up 34 cents at 259.71. Your slaughter has been aggressive and stayed right on pace or a little above last week's big number, but now we've got to the end of the week and we've got holidays, so that's going to slow things down a bit. But up through Thursday, 498,000 harvested this week. That's 3,000 more than last week, 39,000 more than the same week a year ago. Your actual slaughter information come back for the week ending April the 2nd. It's always 2 weeks behind. Your average dressed steer carcass weight come in at 909 pounds, and that's 1 pound lighter than the previous report, which was 6 pounds lighter than the report before that. So our weights are starting to come down here quite a bit. Talk about your feeder cattle market. Your real-time index on DV auction late in the day on Thursday sitting at 155.23. That was down 70 cents, and some of our biggest sales come in the southern plains there, and they just weren't quite as hot. But I'm going to give you some quotes in the Midwest that's going to open your eyes here in just a minute. But coming to you from Fallon, Nevada out here on Thursday evening, and we've got a big sale on Friday for their monthly feeder cattle special. Got 4,000 head plus on offer. It doesn't start till noon way out here Pacific time, so our So that's going to be 2 o'clock for you guys in the central part of the United States. You can get on to dvauction.com and we'll have an operator right there taking bids, and you guys can feel comfortable viewing those cattle and bidding on those cattle. I tell you what, those high country desert cattle there have got condition out of this world, and they will take right off if you've got something for them to graze on, or if you want to put them on feed. But view that sale at Nevada Livestock Marketing at noon in the central, or noon in the Pacific, or 2 o'clock on the central part of the United States on Friday here. Let's talk about your big sales on Thursday. How about winter livestock in Pratt, Kansas? 4,500 head. That's a pretty good sale right there. That's nearly as many as they had at our high volume Monday sale. So big sale in Pratt. Steadied to $2 higher where it was tested from last week. But pretty decent sale with Pratt. They didn't have any real big stick out sales, just kind of going right along with what we've seen in other sales so far this week. Farmers and Ranchers Livestock in Salina, Kansas also had 4,500. That's 9,000 head right there in the center part of Kansas. Now their market was quite a bit higher because they had more stocker type cattle there, and they're sitting in the top of the Flint Hills, and you know, grazers are real popular, but they ranged in their trends from $3 to as much as $14 higher than just last week. Going to give you some stick out sales, and they're mostly in the Midwest, and they are eye openers, guys. How about Columbus, Nebraska, at the Columbus Sales Pavilion there? 83 head, 993 pound steers weighing almost a grand, bring 150.75. Wow. How about Fairview Sale Barn, Fairview, Illinois? 63 head of them Kluwer steers, weighed 813 pounds at 164.75. My goodness. But your best quote that I saw on Thursday in your Rowgrow, top quote for the day, come out of Lamona Livestock Market there in Lamona, Iowa. The Nordell Farm steers, they had several cattle in there, but the stick out sale I saw was 77 head, 716 pound steers at $184, and they're going right to feed. That's your feeder flash for Friday.